how you doing? So today I want to start by sharing a lesson that has come to me in later life. And you know what? I wish I discovered it earlier. There were definitely points where I played with this a little bit, but my impatience, and yes, I am an impatient person. I really wish that I wasn't. I really wish that I could just be kind of grounded and centered and just have a bit more of a, pottering energy. But I don't necessarily have that. I am a bit more like all or nothing. Like if I'm going for it, I'm really going for it. Or I'm just totally switching off, watching the telly, having a lovely, relaxing time, and I'm nowhere near my phone. But this sense of knowing you've got time is really powerful. And I think in a world of instant gratification, of just press one click and it will be with you within the hour, or just do these 3 things and overnight you too will have X, Y, and Z. I think it's really important to recognize whether or not that situation is useful. Now, there are some points where I know that I want to press go on something and I'm like, yep, let's just do it in the day, get it done, get it sorted. I think, tidying our bedroom, for example, is one of those things. I need to go, right, for the next hour, I am doing this. I am moving that floor drobe. I'm sorting out that chair. I need to just close the door and get on with this. But there are other things in terms of business development or things that I'm working on that need that incubation time. And I think in a world where everybody's telling you to go faster and faster and faster, it can feel like you're always catching your breath going, oh gosh, I thought I was up to speed now. And oh gosh, there's something else. What else do I have to learn? I don't know where to go next. And it can put you in that state, which is not necessarily going to keep you focused and creative and coming up with lovely, beautiful, creative solutions. So I want to invite this idea for the impatient people that may be amongst us, the power of a container. I saw this last year when I did a 12-month, or I had rather, a 12-month coaching relationship. I wasn't going to say that. Agreement is what I'm saying. A 12-month coaching agreement. And I keep looking back on that time because over the years, I've done all kinds of different self-development-y things and business development. I've done one-off things, 3-month things, 6 months, 8 months, all kinds of combinations. But there was something about a container, and I'm going to offer a container to you at the end. So if you are interested in creating this container for yourself, do get in touch. I'm going to leave my details here. But this idea of a container, whether it's anything that you're working on, a goal or a commitment or a new habit or a change or something that you want to do, if you give yourself that container of this, and it doesn't even have to be serious, over the next 6 months, I'm going to be thinking about working on this. And as soon as you just I'm relaxing into it, as I say, if you suddenly start to say like 3 months or 6 months, it gives you that sense that you can ease into it. So you don't have to go, oh my gosh, I've got a deep sea dive in a day and be able to do all of the things. Actually, if you know that you've got a bit of time, that first stage of just making the decision, there's a comfort that comes with that because you're like, I could just take this easy. I can find my feet. I can see what's going on. I can suss out the situation. And having that sense of time and space is really good for accessing our intuition, accessing that sense of what needs to happen next for you. And I know that if I am looking for the answers, and the answers that I know that I'm going to have to dig deep for sometimes, not the answers of like, I'm just going to buy another course and just see what somebody says. The answers where I have to go deep and go, what is this thing? What is it? Okay. And I'm doing, this is my process. I'm like, what is it? Go deeper. Why? And it's like I'm digging up something. You know, when you see a dog kind of looking for a bone, or they're sort of scratching at the surface. I sense that with my business sometimes. And what I can't do in that moment is take in the outside noise. I have to go quiet. I have to get silent. And when I think about this container and why it's so useful for me, is it gives me that time and space. I hate, even though I've said at the beginning of this live, I am an impatient person, I also don't like to be rushed. I don't like to be rushed. I like to take my time. There's nothing worse than somebody go, do you want to order then? What are you going to have? What are you going to have for your main meal? I'm like, I don't know. I'm still looking. I'm still thinking. I'm doing all of the things. So I am that lovely juxtaposition. But knowing if I've got a container of something that I'm working on, and I've got that time and space to really figure it out, it's invaluable. The third thing that I want to say about the power of a container is I can spend more time, maybe than's necessary, or maybe than's expected, in the planning, the organising, the perusing, the pondering stage. And that means that I can be in that point of view where I'm preparing for this situation, rather than feeling like I have to make decisions really, really quickly. Because what I found is, say I was working on something for 6 months, if the only thing that I did in the first month was to research and think and ponder, that would actually work really well, because months 2 to 6 would go super speedy then. And I would be able to go, yeah, done that. And it would all make sense because I'd had that incubation period. I'd had that process to really work through. The fourth thing that I want to say is, if you build a container for yourself, you give yourself time to experiment and to get it wrong. To get it wrong, to pull together some evidence, some information, and almost have that moment where you have to scrunch it up. And I know we're not throwing pieces of paper away, but scrunch it up and throw it in the bin and start again and go, don't really know what that was. I didn't feel good. Okay, I need to rethink this. Where do I go next? So it gives you that moment to experiment and try things out. And maybe from your planning and processing process, it's brought up new ideas that maybe you hadn't considered before because you've been thinking in this creative way. So you need to stop and almost give those a go and take them off the shelf and really look at them and pay attention to them. The fifth thing that I want to say is, if you have a container of 3 to 6 months, you will have that sense that you can just do a small thing each and every day. Rather than going, oh my goodness, I've done everything in one day, I've completely exhausted myself, and now I need to lie down for a week. If you've got a bigger container, a bigger capacity, you can just do a tiny little thing every day. But because you're constantly feeding that or watering, whatever analogy works for you, you have that sense of all those little things are building up in a really, really lovely way. And that means that you can ease and enjoy the process because you're not in that panic situation. I have seen it. What is that car doing? Sometimes we see these moments where people drive onto the side of the road. Yes. Anyway, so this sense, and I know over the years I've had loads of headshot photography for my acting work, and I've actually been on other people's headshot shoots as well. And if somebody knows they've got a 2-hour session, by about 50 minutes in, they're already panicking. Like, have we got the shots? Oh my God, the light's going. Am I going to have enough different outfits? Is my hair looking rubbish? My makeup's starting to slide off. oh gosh, is the photographer getting tired? Does the photographer like me? And there's all that kind of stuff. So being able to do those things and dip in every day, like for example, to take it back to the photography, if somebody took a photo of you each and every day for 3 months, I know that might not be possible, you would, through going through the process, start to build that up. So I would love you to think about this and see what comes up for you and see what comes to mind and therefore what you need to do next. I would love to welcome you into some kind of container of building your personal brand. And not a personal brand that is going to be like, right, okay, what we saying? Yeah, I empower people. Yeah, you know those things where you're like, that's a bit wonky. But to really go in deep and go, no, let's give this the time and the space and the environment to really think about what this next chapter looks like, and give it some time and give it a sense of being able to experiment and get it wrong and go back and then add things in, but from a really lovely place, full of foundations, full of integrity. I would absolutely love to hear from you. We can have a chat, a free 15-minute strategy session, and you can also join my personal brand plan as well, which is an online course. There is a kind of DIY version, but also a done with me session as well. So we can work together for 3 months. We can go over everything and you have unlimited access to me as well. So you can have those moments sometimes where you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, Nicky. How is this feeling? How is this looking? You can be a work in progress. So I will leave all the details down below. Thanks so much for watching. I would love to hear, as always, what's popped up for you, where you need a bit more time and effort. And I'm going to share this one final thing. I was able to go into my 5-year-old's classroom. He's now in year 1. And I was able to go into his classroom the other day, which just filled my heart with joy so much, because he has been, like, it's really hard, a 5-year-old having to describe where things are. Like, no, mummy, it's like near the book corner. I'm like, I don't know where the book corner is because I haven't been in. And on each of their pages of whatever the book is, they get to mark the traffic light system of whether they found it easy, whether they found it okay, or whether they found it hard. And this was really interesting, noticing what this process would look like. And I've just I'm going to play with this traffic light system. So I'm going to talk about it more. It's not obviously something that's going to be on my website, but having that sense of going, oh, that was good today. Oh, that's a bit tricky. Oh, I need to think about X, Y, and Z. Interesting. All right, I'm going to save this. I will catch you later. And thanks for joining. Lots of love. Bye.